Getting it done. Okay. Give me just a minute to do the tag happy dance. The tag happy dance. Do the tag happy dance. Probably ought to turn on a little more light. There we go. Alrighty, let's see here. Always something with Zoom. I will tell you with the controls. Eba. All right, I'm trying to turn off my original sound because I don't need it right now. And it's giving me a little bit of trouble, unfortunately. So let me see what's... Oh, I'm just going to live with it, I guess, because... Alrighty. Whoops. Whoops, if you hit the right buttons, then there we go. All right. Well, hello, welcome. So this is Rev Ronda from Empath Haven. And today is all about summit success. And this is something that's meant to help you both as an attendee of a summit or online event with speakers and a bunch of stuff happening. And it's meant to help you as a speaker and as an attendee, both. So what I'm going to do is start with the things that will help you as an attendee. And if you are watching this from inside the Empath Haven community, then you will find this in its own little classroom in the treasure trove of free goodies. And that's a classroom. There are all kinds of lovely things in there. Those are all gifts for members. This is something that could easily be a premium program. However, I am beautiful members of the Haven who are attending summits or are speakers at summits, and we have some in the Haven. And so also something else that I do inside the Haven, in case you do not know, and you're new, in case you're new here, or you're maybe not as new but you just didn't pick up on it or didn't know, if some of us are in a particular event, I like to actually highlight that event and make sure that people know who is speaking and what their topic is. So if you're in the Haven and you're speaking, I've also put anyone who has actually put their info in the post. You have to help me that far. I'll help you, but you have to be a little bit proactive and put what your topic and how long it is, and just give me that little quickie, just like you had to the short thing, not two. Someone gave me like 2 pages, and I'm like, okay, I'm taking the top paragraph, and we're good. You can do that level on your own platform. You do that level of promotion, but I'm giving a space for everybody to share about your program. If it's something that's on the calendar at a time, like mine is at an upcoming summit at a certain time, then not only mine, but other people in the Haven who have given your info to me, I put you on the calendar. And that way, members can support you. So that's something that I love to do as a community host, and in being able to provide a little extra support for the Haven members who are involved in summits. Okay, so if you're seeing this later, I am Haven and are curious what we do here, I will be talking about that at the end, and you'll have it's a free community, just so no one gets nervous. I'm not pitching a big $1,000 product or something at the end. No, there's no pitch. There's just an invitation if you want to join the community, and you'll be able to find that information. But I'll talk a little more about our community later on at the end. So here's the thing. Now, to give you like, who the heck am I, and why am I credible to talk about what I'm talking about? So I have been a speaker, singer, performer, a sound healer, all that different things for quite a while. I've been a speaker since I was, as my grandpa would say, knee-high to a grasshopper. I love that old saying. It's so cute. But my parents were performers, and my dad was a master of ceremonies, and so I put on a lot of shows as a kid to my stuffed animals or to the flowers or whatever, just, all of that. So I'm no stranger to that. In terms of being a part of speaking on stages, I've shared some pretty cool stages with people. I've been involved in a few summits with Brenda Rigney and Katja McEwen. I've shared some stages with other people as well. And what I find is that it's the success in the summit isn't so much about who's on the stage and who's speaking and whatever. It's really about where does the magic actually happen at these events. Sure, if it's a good summit, you're going to get lots of awesome information, lots of awesome help, right? And that's the point. That's what we want. However, where does the magic really happen? Oh, that's what I'm going to tell you. A little magic, a little sparkle. It's not so much about the talks, the presentations, which should be great, and yes, you should get a lot of great info to help your life, your business, your purpose, your community, your nonprofit, whatever. The real magic, though, happens in building relationships. So I'm going to tell you how that happens. Now, first thing I want to say, I'm going to tell you a little story. Okay? Let's imagine, we have to use our let's pretend game, because I didn't actually bake cookies. But let's pretend I have in my hands here a platter or a plate of beautiful homemade chocolate chip cookies, and you can even see steam rising from them because they're still a little bit warm. Yum. Well, I know that we're through a Zoom, and even if these were real cookies, I couldn't really literally give you one, but let's just say we're in the same room and I have this plate of cookies, and I'm just standing there. I've got these cookies. I'm not saying anything. I'm not inviting anyone to them. I'm just standing there. And because they're chocolate chip cookies, there might be some bold people who go sniff, 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 and snatch, like yum, and you just happened upon them. But what if you're all the way across the room and there's 300 other people there? You don't know there's a plate of cookies over here. Nobody invited you. Well, that's kind of the point. So we're going to come back to the plate of cookies later. So for the moment, I'm going to set my imaginary cookies down to the side and continue with what we're talking about here. So we're talking about the real magic of summits. And first I'm going to share about as an attendee, and then towards the end as a speaker, or a presenter or a facilitator, or whatever role you might have. Okay, now the reason for this is because everything I share to help you as an attendee will help you as a speaker presenter. And I have some excellent news for you. My dog is snoring. If that's picking up on the mic, that little that's my dog snoring. But anyway, so I have really good news for you, because you're probably an introvert or an ambivert, and you might be someone who's intimidated by this big room, and there might be 3,000 people attending the summit. It's in a virtual thing, but even still, it's a lot of people, it's a lot of commotion, it's a lot of energy. Even if it's excitement, even if it's good stuff, it's still a lot of energy. It's still a lot of strangers. It's still a lot of people you don't know, and maybe a few that you do. But yeah, it's still it's a lot. There's just a lot that's going on. Depending on how you are with your energy, with your capacity, with what level of an introvert / hermit or ambivert or whatever extrovert that you are, it's going to make you feel a certain way, perhaps, about the event even before you get there. Well, here's the good news. Especially for my empaths and highly sensitive people, most of whom are introverts, and the vast majority of whom are not sensory seeking, but more sensory avoiding and don't want a lot of commotion around you. That's brilliant, because the magic isn't in being in the middle of a crowd with all this stuff like it's a circus happening around you. The real magic happens when you get in the comments and you start building relationships and you talk to people one on one. Not the big calamity that's going on, all the commotion, all the stuff, right? The one on one, the little mini conversations that happen. So that's what we're going to be talking about. I'm going to give you, I'll have a slideshow. I'll show you that momentarily. I'm less worried about that. I do have the handout for you. So if you're in the community, you'll see the handout. You don't have to worry about it. Take whatever notes, but you're going to get all the things to help you make sure that you're tracking everything. Okay? I have notes. I have everything for you. I take care of my people. Okay? But so here's the story. So this wasn't actually at a summit, but it was attending a presentation inside of a group that has over 3,000 people in it. And we had a special guest speaker, and I attended her talk, and afterwards made some kind of comment. I don't remember exactly what I said, but anyway, we started talking a little bit back and forth just in this chain of comments. I got several in deep. And somewhere along the way, she mentioned that she's a synesthete, which means she has synesthesia, which means for a very, very, very teensy weensy minority of us, we can get not just the usual clairvoyance and clairsentience and that sort of thing, but we can also get like smells and tastes and somatic sensations and different things that not everybody gets. So like numbers have texture and color. Galaxies have a smell or sense to them. The moon has a metallic. When somebody's on the moon, as I can remember when I was a kid, the guys were on the moon, got this really funky taste in my mouth, like I tried drinking milk. I tried eating a piece of bread or something. Nothing helped. I didn't know that was synesthesia when I was like 4, but there you go. Right, so we got to talking a little bit about that. So we made this really cool connection. And also she said to me, wow, we serve the same audience. We do it in very different ways, because she deals more with the sales side. I deal a lot more with the somatics and nervous system reset and capacity and helping you decode the sensations you're getting and so forth. So we serve the same people. And it's kind of cool. We do it differently enough that she and I could be doing one piece of the same session or whatever, each doing a workshop at the same thing, serving that exact audience. And yet it would be a complete complement to each other because we don't do exactly the same thing. So it's very cool. So in building that relationship, now this is somebody who, when I reach out, I says, I'm after this summit, let's talk. But I said, I know I'm going to have a lot going on with being a part of the summit. And after that, I would love to connect and we'll see if we can make some magic together because we've already started to build that connection. It's not like I saw someone's name and went, ooh, there's a celebrity. Snatch. Let me see if I can get my claws in there. And someone might describe it as don't be a predator in the disguise of a butterfly. So you're not going into anything with the, ooh, I can get a client, or, oh, someone will pay me a lot of money, or, oh, someone will do a collaboration and I'll make money. You can't go in it with that sense. It's more like, wow, look at all the cool synergy and connection. So that's what we're here talking about. And having heard that story and thinking about that plate of cookies, I'll pick it up for a moment here from the side. There it is again. There's that invisible plate of cookies. I'll put it back down. But with those things, that's going to help you really understand how to make the most out of that experience of being an attendee. So it's really all about what is going to be happening in the conversations and the relationships. So it's really about the one-on-one. I'm flipping my camera off for just a second so I can do something here. And because that Zoom took away their green button, it's harder for me to see starting the screen sharing. Okay. And present. And okay, so your success, let's roll up to the beginning, shall we? I don't know why it rolled all the way down, but that's okay, no problem. Keep going, keep scrolling, keep rolling. Come on, back it up, back it up, back it up. There we go. All right. So, this is the same thing that you're having as a handout in the classroom inside of Empath Haven. Okay, so for Summit Success, and I've talked about the plate of cookies, and so I have a picture of one there. And so this is the sort of thing that we're going to be dealing with, okay? You have every opportunity to make real connections, and that's where you want your focus. All right, so the biggest thing about the summit, remember, we're talking one-on-one. We're not talking about trying to be in the middle of like a concert with 10,000 people and you're in the crowd going, oi, I want to get out of the crowd. You're not in a crowd. You're in individual little mini conversations. You're responding to a post. Maybe you're creating a post occasionally, depending, but really it's in the conversations. So when you go into an event, into a summit, you don't want to just lurk on the sides. You want to participate. It's really helpful if you're in the school community, if that's where your event is, and there are these leaderboards and these points, it's really helpful and not difficult to get yourself to at least a level 3 or 4 even before the event begins. Getting to a level 2 you can do within the first few minutes of getting into any community just by liking a few comments and making a comment or two of your own, and then you just keep going from there. So you'll want to do that. But the type of comment you're making is also something that you'll want to be aware of, right? Because it's not just about going, hey, great post, love it, or putting a cute cat emoji or something like that, right? It's about actually making some kind of a contribution. Now, yeah, is there room for cheerleading? Sure. Sometimes somebody says, hey, I just did a thing, and you want to say congratulations. There's nothing wrong with that part of the time. However, it's just really helpful to you if you engage, and if you might say, you made a really good point about blah, blah, blah. I had this thing happen to me, or this is what it brought to mind for me, or whatever it might happen to be. Okay, so that's what you'll want to think about there. Okay, and so you'll want to, one thing that's helpful is to create a connection tracker. And that is just simply so that you don't lose track, because I know for me, like, I connected with someone named Amy and Lydia and, several other people. I maybe you can't always connect with them immediately or get into a DM or get onto a Zoom or whatever, but you might want to follow up. And I'm not a spreadsheet person. Some people love them. If you love a spreadsheet, by golly, make yourself the best doggone spreadsheet you want to make and track all the things. But if you're a pen and paper girl or man or person or entity like like I am, I love me a pen and paper, and so I keep track of like the person's name, maybe what community it was in or whatever, and anything else about them. Like if I would put Lydia from Oracle Connection or just OC and synesthete, I would know exactly who I was talking about. So things like that. When you make a tracker, it really helps you. Okay? When you're in an event, as I said, it is absolutely still, it feels like it's huge because there are a lot of people. There might be thousands in the actual community in that actual event. However, the important thing to recall is that you're dealing one-on-one. You want to also set some boundaries. So I know some people have said, oh, I feel like I was just in this thing all day long. And maybe you were. Maybe it was a minute here, 2 minutes there, 3 minutes there, 5 minutes there, another minute somewhere else, whatever. But you can set yourself some boundaries. And you do this based on your own personal energy and capacity. But for example, maybe during a summit, aside from the talks that you're attending, maybe you spend 15 minutes in the morning and another 15 minutes in the evening. Maybe it's more, whatever, maybe it's less, and you're looking for, where can I find good connections? Why are the connections? Well, maybe you run a business, you're a healer, practitioner of some sort, maybe you have a school community or a Facebook group or whatever, and you're looking for good connections, right? So that's the whole point in there. There we go. Sorry, this is being a little hitchy today. All right, so your nervous system stuff. This is where you want to make sure when you're in a big event, it's still a lot. It's still a lot of activity. It's still a lot of people, right? And so you're going to want to take good care of your own nervous system. Make sure if you need breaks and if you need to do things that'll help take care of yourself. So before the event, you want to do things like meals and snacks and have things ready, because if you're going to be busy managing your normal life, plus you're in an event, maybe there are 2 or 3 or 5 sessions in a day you want to attend, it's really helpful if you plan your meals and your snacks and make sure you have water and drinks and things like that. You'll want to make sure that you are planning ahead, and during the event, you want to take breaks to get outside, take body breaks, bio breaks, get up, move around, shake it out, dance, put on a tune and dance. Even just one song, even if you dance for 1 or 2 minutes or just jiggle around, jump around, that is going to help you shake things up in your body, get things moving. And I'm not good at sitting all day, so a lot of times during a session, I might turn off the camera and then I might be on my rebounder or walking through the house or doing something so that I'm active, because I'm not a person who can sit for hours and hours all day without getting up and moving. Okay, so there we go. I have figured out the secret sauce. Okay. So things like that. Oh, and the one thing I also forgot to mention about when you're attending is you want to clear your energy in between. You need to practice for your own sanity and mental and emotional and physical health And your empath protection is that you definitely want to clear your field. And you can do this in whatever way you like. Maybe you are a person who likes to use a crystal or a feather and like smudging with a feather, just like brushing your aura, brushing over your body with a feather, lighting an incense, grounding your energy. You can use from your level 1 gift when you have those activities that can help you, and there's the printable cards for them and everything. You can use one of those, like bouncing on your heels and centering your energy deep into the earth. That will help you go outside, jump around, shake it off with just shake it off if you have to, whatever, but clear your field. Okay? For speakers, it's yes to all of that. And here's what you want to remember. Unless you're a really famous person, in which case you probably aren't needing to listen to this. So I'm assuming you're not like someone who's so famous that people hear your name and they go, oh my God, of course I'm attending their presentation. If you're not that level, then this will help you. So it's yes to all of that. It's all about the building of the relationships and everything. Okay? And also, we're going to come back to that plate of cookies really, really soon here. Okay? So there's a quote that I love that's by Einstein. And I'm going to paraphrase it, but seek first to be a person of value. Okay? Seek first, or try to be a person of value. I don't like the word try, so I just say seek first to be a person of value. When you are leading with value, when you're leading with being meaningful, when you're leading with connections, that's what in the biz they call relationship marketing. Okay, so yes, if we can leave the management seminar behind, yes. But it really is all about building relationships. And so, when you're seeking first to be of value, that means if someone says, I can't find the bleh, and you know where to find the bleh, well, point it out. Like in school, if you know where it is, you can put a hashtag and put the thing, oh, it's here, or my classroom is right here, and put the number sign or hashtag, and then like your name or whatever the name of your particular classroom is, and lead people to it. Someone says I've always struggled with blah, 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 and it's something that you cover, you can say, oh, yeah, I really get it. I used to struggle with that too, blah, whatever, give them some value, and then maybe you're going to make an invitation. So, that's exactly what I'm covering in my session, and it's at such and so time, and go check it out in the calendar, and here's the link to where my classroom is, if it's in school, and you can very easily do that. Usually it's either your name or it might be the name of your presentation. But you just do the hashtag and then your thing, and it should, what I like to say, light up. It should connect it automatically for you. Okay? So you want to be meaningful comments. The occasional rah, rah, yay, good job, go you, love this post can be okay occasionally, but it's not adding any value. So when you do help somebody out, you show some support, that can be really great. Okay, so you can share stories and tools. So if you have a story, like my Lydia story, like the chocolate chip cookies, when you have some story about a thing that happened to you, a thing you did, a thing you tried, maybe you failed at X and then you found a way to master it, whatever. Those kind of things are great. If you have a tip or a tool, absolutely great. And you're going to become known by being valuable, by being helpful. By doing this exact strategy, I had people who went, oh, I can't wait to attend your event. And some of them, yes, were people that I knew from communities, but some of them were people that were new to me just from the particular event, but they said something and I helped them with something, right? And so that's really the big difference. So what this is all about is building visibility and building authority, but you're not doing it by trying to make people do things or wrangling people or whatever. You are simply being useful, being helpful, connecting with people, tracking who you want to make deeper connections with, right? True for speakers, because I'm here to tell you, the field of dreams is, I know there was, trying to go back to the beginning part there. So the field of dreams, if you build it, they will come. That's a lovely story. That's a lovely fiction. Okay, but the issue with that is that in the real world, it does not really work that way. If you build it, they won't rarely come, right? So it's something that's really important to remember. Oops. There we go. Just trying to get my slides to move. All right, so if you build it, they will not necessarily come. It is absolutely not a given. And that's why we have the chocolate chip cookies that we'll be getting back to momentarily. Oops, I touched something and put a box in the corner. Let me try this again. Doop, doop, doop. Blind person at the helm messing up. Okay. All right, so the chocolate chip cookie thing, right? We have a plate of chocolate chip cookies. And if we don't invite people to come and take one, they may not know they're there. If they walk right under your nose and they're bold, they might snatch one off the plate. But what if there's a room of several hundred people and they're all the way across? They don't know there's cookies. Well, if you are a speaker and you go, oh, I did my presentation, it's uploaded, the host has it, it's in the classroom or it's in the whatever, the vault, it's in the space it needs to be in. And now you're like, and now I wait? No. Now is when your real work begins, because now, by going and doing what I've said about adding value, helping people, mentioning, hey, my presentation is at this day or time, or it's pre-recorded, it's going to be in the sessions, and you let people know to go over to it, and hey, in that session is what I'm talking about. That's what's going to help people, right? So I will give you an example from my coming session, is that what I'm teaching is a session called Launch Team Magic, or Launch Circle Magic at this one, sorry. And so for somebody that has a book or a deck, and you maybe are thinking, well, I have it, it's done, or it's almost done, and I know I'm supposed to get it out in the world, but I'm not really sure what to do. Well, if you have a sticky note, even smaller than this piece of paper that's on this little pad here, but I can show you on something really small like this with 3 circles and a plan how you can get people to help you, not by paying them, not by being a celebrity, not by getting endorsements, not by throwing a big huge budget at an ad agency, but just simply by inviting and asking, picking up that plate of cookies and saying, hey, I'm going to be offering this really awesome plate of cookies, and you serve my audience, or we're buds, we help each other. I would love you to help me. It's all about that connection and sharing. So if you can do that without twisting yourself into someone you're not, without trying to be a golden retriever, if you're really a hermit, yeah, you can do it without going through all kinds of shenanigans. And that's what I'm teaching in the session. So that's the way you're just talking about, hey, this is what I'm doing. You'll come to my session. It's this day and time. I'm not going to bother saying it because this will be, an evergreen thing. But that's the idea, is you're just sharing about what it is that you're doing. You might have an opportunity to write your own post. If you reach a certain level, that's partly why you want to level up even before the session, before this event, so that by the time it starts, you're already gaining more points. A lot of people will say you can't post until you're at level 5 or 6 or whatever. So it just depends. But you want to be that person who's sharing. Okay? No one's going to know about how delicious your chocolate chip cookies are if you don't tell them. If you are not already a known person, the only way they're really going to find out, some people, they might scroll across your name in the list, but they're like, I don't know him, I don't know her, I don't know them. And they might get to you, or they might not. It could be that the smile in your photo or the title of your talk or whatever just catches them and they go, oh gosh, I really need that. But the chances are, if they've never heard of you, they're more likely to see if somebody they've already heard of and that they know and trust has that. Well, that's why you're commenting, you're connecting, you're building trust. You're building what I like to call a KLT sandwich: know, like, and trust. Right? That's a big, big thing. And by being of value, know you, the ones who are your people will like you, the others won't. That's okay. You're not their flavor, they're not yours. And those who are your people will begin to trust you. Okay, so stop the sharing. Come on. There we go. Right? So that is why you do all of those things, and it's really one-on-one. So in just taking a few minutes each day, a couple of times a day during the summit, on top of whatever it is that you're attending, that'll really help you. The other thing I highly recommend for anybody, especially those of us who are more introverted, who are more sensitive, is go ahead and buy the speaker pack. And I'm not just saying this because if it's through my link I get a commission, but I'm really why I'm saying this. That's nice, but that's not why I'm saying it. Even if I wasn't getting, if some event and I'm not even involved, I would still give you this advice, whether a commission or not, doesn't matter, right? Because when you get that, that means you can be on your own time. So a lot of the events are going to give you a limitation. You can only watch all the replays until such and such date and time. Well, that's great, but you may have life. You may be busy. You may be out of town part of it. You may be too tired and you don't feel like it. This way you have a chance to watch some of the things later. Or maybe someone's presentation was awesome, but you really want to hear it again to help it like really sink in and settle in. So that's why you want to do that. Okay, so and the couple of questions that I'd had in some comments, I've kind of already covered those, but one person was asking how to kind of preserve their energy because these events can be a lot, and that's all those things I said about guarding your own energy, protecting your energy, clearing your field in between sessions or in between times that you go in the community, because everybody comes and we all have, stuff hanging off of us, and most people are not just specifically going a whoosh and clearing everything before they enter or exit a space just to clear the field. So that clearing your field, that will make it such a different experience when you go back, because you're at the blank slate, you're at the fresh start. Okay, and also all those things about planning ahead your meals and snacks and drinks and so forth, and make sure there are things that will nourish your energy, that will help you, some good protein, some good quality food, some water, and make sure and get outside if you can. If you really can't because you're maybe in an urban area and there's nothing, well, get some images of some pretty nature, or watch a video of like the beach or the forest or whatever you really like. If you can't actually go outside, that'll help you. And I hope all of these tips serve you. Now, for those of you who might be seeing this on YouTube or some other place, I'd like to mention a little bit about Empath Haven. So you've probably already gotten some kind of idea. This is a great community for people who are empaths, who are highly sensitive, who are just not wired like what is considered normal or typical out in the world, whatever normal really means, So for those who are not that quote unquote normal, we run very differently. Our energy is different. Many of us are introverts who find it being draining to be in a large something hanging out and maybe not as renewing, and might need some more personal time to renew. If that is you, I highly would recommend that you come into Empath Haven School. The link will be somewhere generally below, or at least somewhere depending where you're seeing this, with this video. And you can join us. It is a free community. Yeah, there is a premium level where we go take everything deeper, but for absolutely free. There are all kinds of, the community is there with some terrific people, and a lot of us, we really do support and help each other. We love to welcome new people. We love to support each other through the joys, the sorrows, the ups, the downs, everything. and helping each other deal with life as an empath or highly sensitive person. There's also a free play date each month that you can attend. There's a free co-working session. It's just where we get together for about an hour and a half. We start by kind of checking in, saying, what are you working on? And then take about a half hour and check back in, and then take another half hour, kind of like that. So it's really just co-working, but sometimes having other people who are holding that space of getting stuff done, closing the loops, getting things off the list really helps. And also, we do have a circle gathering each month, which has some kind of a topic, such as working with your spirit guides, connecting with your angels, setting boundaries, all kinds of things like that. And for free members, you do have access for a day where you can watch it. And at level 3 or above, you can attend live. Premium members have permanent access to it as long as you are a premium member. All right, so lots of good stuff for free people. It's in school, and you can click the link. I want to thank you so much for your time. I wish you the greatest of success with your summit, whether you're attending or whether you are speaking at it. Take care. As I always say, namaste, love.